Brockovich by Rosa Madrano, Cornerstone University. Her personality and behavior, the behavior of Erin Brockovich. The movie portrays her as a driven, resourceful woman. Her behavior is characterized by persistence and willingness to challenge authority. She has a deep connection with people and seeks to help them. She is resilient and determined. Erin has faced many difficulties, including poverty, a car accident, and a difficult divorce, yet her resilience remains. She is determined to improve her life and the lives of others. Empathy and compassion. She genuinely cares about the people she represents and uses empathy to build trust while gaining their confidence. She has a need to make connections with people that she is going to help. She is rebellious and independent. She is a rebel who is not afraid to challenge the status quo or question authority, clashing with legal establishments. Her unwavering belief is in justice, and that is what drives her. She is socially aware of injustice and fights for the rights of those who are wronged. She is the voice of the voiceless and the champion for the marginalized. Strong core values. She possesses a strong core value evaluation and a high self-esteem with an internal locus of self-control, regardless of her difficult circumstances. She believes in her ability to make a difference. You will find that internal locus on chapter 2 in the book of conflict management. Brockovich's communication style in Hinckley case. Persuasion. Brockovich persuaded a group of terrified people to trust her and to stand against a powerful corporation. That is her key aspect of her communication style. She emphasizes the trust, respect, and understanding in building a strong relationship with her clients. Trust and rapport. Erin was good with people, and that was evident with her building rapport with her clients. She had empathy and shared her vulnerability, which allowed them to trust her. Focus on human impact. Brockovich focused on legal technicalities and emphasized the human cost of contamination, highlighting the suffering and illnesses of the affected individuals. The approach helped her to affirm support for the lawsuit. Brockovich plays the role of an advocate in the Hinckley case, and her work as an environmental advocate demonstrated her commitment to social justice and holding corporations accountable. She used communication skills to raise awareness while empowering those affected by the environmental injustices. This is how negotiation, conflict management, and resolving. Negotiation. Brockovich and Massey engaged with the residents of Hinckley, building trust and collective action to advocate their rights. They also negotiated with Pacific Gas and Electric to reach a settlement that compensated the affected community of Hinckley. The use of legal means. The case Anderson et al. Versus Pacific Gas and Electric's lawsuit was filed which allowed many plaintiffs to pursue compensation for their injuries. They were persistent in the face of opposition. Brockovich and Massey faced many obstacles. They persevered through corporate lobbying, efforts in the PG&E legal team, prolonged court hearings. They were committed to achieve environmental justice for the residents of Hinckley, California. They sought prudential justice. Even when they wanted a settlement for Hinckley residents, they emphasized the importance of procedural justices. justice. This would ensure that the process was fair and transparent and allow the residents to be heard and participate in the resolution of their case. The negotiation process. Initial lawsuit investigations. Brockovich uncovered evidence of hexavalent contamination in the groundwater. Therefore, many lawsuits have been filed by the residents of Hinckley. The lawsuits allege that the actions of PG&E had caused the residents to suffer through various health problems, which included cancer, tumors, and birth defects. This also included their desire for the environmental cleanup, which would improve their living conditions. The binding arbitration. A 1993 class action lawsuit led to 2 years in arbitration that involved 39 plaintiffs, which resulted in awards that totaled $121 million. PG&E's decision to settle. After the arbitration award, PG&E reassessed their position and decided to end arbitration and settle the case. The $333 million settlement. In 1996, the Hinckley case was settled. It was the largest settlement of a class action lawsuit in the United States history at the time. Continued efforts and ongoing concerns. The settlement was also addressed the contamination and PG&E's commitment to clean up the contamination. Introduction and initiation of Hinckley contamination. The natural gas compressors that PG&E used contained hexavalent chromium-6 in the cooling towers for the prevention of the rust. The company disposed of the contaminated water in the ponds that did not have a lining, allowing the water to seep in the groundwater of the residents of Hinckley, which they used for drinking and other purposes. Number 2, Brockovich's involvement. Brockovich discovered a connection between P&G and health problems within the residents of Hinckley while she was working as a legal clerk. She brought the information that she had found to the attention of her boss, Edward Masry, who agreed to take on the case. The lawsuit. Masry and Brockovich filed a class action lawsuit on behalf of over 600 residents who were affected by the contamination. The settlement. The case resulted in a $333 million settlement in 1996, the largest of its time for a direct action lawsuit. The settlement included medical costs, damages for the plaintiffs, and lost wages. This aroused the public awareness. This case raised public awareness when in 2000 it became a movie. The case led legislature changes. It led to legislature changes in California regarding water quality and the corporate accountability. Ongoing debate. This case remains controversial with ongoing debate about carcinogenic of chromium-6. Intensification and closing. Brockovich's investigation. Erin Brockovich, a legal clerk, played a key role in uncovering the contamination of PG&E that had impacted the residents of Hinckley. The lawsuit filing. A lawsuit was filed in 1993 that claimed the PG&E had failed to notify the residents of Hinckley about the health risk associated with chromium-6 and the contamination with their water. Evidence gathering. Brockovich and the law firm worked to gather evidence from the local residents that had been affected by the contamination, which included cancer and illnesses. The closing. The settlement agreement. In 1996, PG&E agreed to $333 million settlement with Hinckley residents, bringing an end to the major litigation. But there was further litigation. Additional lawsuits and settlements continue to be filed. They are resolved in the following years. The final settlement in 2008, PG&E agreed to pay $20 million and settled the last lawsuits that related to the Hinckley groundwater contamination. Cleanup efforts. PG&E has continued working on cleaning up and using groundwater treatment technologies and the installation of injection wells that address chromium-6. Ethics in Christ-centered worldview. Ethics is very important in a Christian-centered worldview as well as all people. The reason I chose this case is because Erin Brockovich was not a person of faith, but she was a very empathetic person. She was a woman that had been through much suffering, yet she still thought of others. It was because of her that the people who lived in Hinckley, California, were rewarded the money that they were so rightly deserved. She was a justice seeker. Psalms 33:5 says that God loves righteousness and justice. The Pacific Gas and Electric Company had contaminated drinking water, and that the residents of Hinckley drank and bathed in PG&E and knew that it was contaminated, yet they chose to do nothing. As Christians, we need to have the character of Christ. We need to have integrity. We need to take care of and nurture the earth which God gave to us as a place for us to live. Genesis 1 says, God created the earth and gave Adam dominion over everything. Adam is no longer here, but we are the Adams in the world. We are to take care of God's creation.